Okay, as you can see, when we model this part on video for part number 1, we come back at about 11 minutes and 9 seconds, and I talk about putting a decal on the side of the part. Well, one thing it's important to know is we got to make the decal. So in this video here, I'm going to show you how to go ahead and model your actual decal, or actually draw your decal in Adobe Illustrator. Now we're using an older version of Adobe Illustrator, which is still a good version of Illustrator. I'm going to come back up here to Illustrator. I've created this little simple file, and what I can do now is make my decal. So I'm going to come over here and grab this letter A. I'm going to do a Control C and Control V to copy it. So once I've got it copied, I can then come in and change it to my initials. In my case, it's going to be R, capital R, and then I'm going to click off that because I wanted these in different one of these as individual pieces of text. Now, I don't like this Arial font for R, so I'm going to come over here to Type. I'm going to go here to Font, and I'm going to scroll down and find a font that I like. I was looking at one earlier that I thought that was kind of nice. It's called Eccentric. I'm going to scroll up here and find Eccentric, and there it is. And so I'll select that for the R. That looks kind of nice. And I can actually come up here and grab this and copy it over if I wanted to, or grab that and copy it over. But I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to introduce a new copy command. I'll select this, then I'll come and hit my Control key, and notice what happens to my mouse. A second arrow pops up, and I can grab this and drag it to the side. So it automatically copies it and pulls it to the side when I move it. So now what I'll do is double click on this, and I'll put my middle initial, or my last name, which is P. I'll put that in there for Platt. Then I'll come back over here again, deselect that, select this object, hold my Alt key down, pull off to the right, and now I'll put my middle initial, which is A. So I'll go grab my text command, come over here and select this, double click it, and put in the letter A. So there's the letter A. Now here's how I'm going to do this. This is kind of like a monogram design, which you would use like on a wedding invitation, or you'd make a personalized gift for someone. You'd come in and do something like this. So I'm going to pull this over as close as I get. Kind of like this look, actually. Looks kind of nice. So I'll put that in there, and I'll grab my P, and I'll kind of move him over a little bit right there. So okay, so there's my design. That looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to come up here to this up here. I'm going to delete, select that over here. I'll go make a selection across there with a polygon. I'll hit delete, and then now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do a file, save for web and devices, and I'll give it a name. I'll hit save. And well, before we do that, let me go back. Make sure that you're set to ping where you have transparency. You want to be set to ping 24 right here. Always set it to ping 24. It gives you better resolution on the edges of your raster image that you create from Adobe Illustrator. So let's go ahead and save that now. So I'm going to put it out here on my desktop, and I'm going to save it as RAPLA. Let's do this. RPA logo. Right there. Put it right there. So I'll save it as a ping file. So now it's going into Illustrator, and it's going to extract that file out and make a portable network graphics file. So that looks good. Let's go over here to Fusion. I'll scroll over here to Fusion, and there's my part. Now I've got my part set to a different perspective than most of you haven't used before. I'll come over here and hit the pull down and set myself back to orthographic instead of perspective. So there it is. Now I'm going to go ahead and select this face here and go to front view, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do an insert decal. And now, since I've made my logo, and it's up here, it says RPA logo, I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to go out and get that decal / ping file, and it's going to map it to the surface of this part. Now if you notice, you kind of got to drag it around, move it around, that kind of stuff. And if you also notice, it's upside down, so we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it this way, and now it's backwards, but it's in the right angle. If I come down here and grab one of these angles, I can still move it around and zoom it up. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to change the scale to 1.75 in the X. I'm going to copy that and come down here and put it in the Y as well and enter it. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and accept that, and so go to the ISO view, and now I'm going to go to perspective view right here, and I'm going to use my wheel over here and rotate that up, and that looks really good. So that's how you put a decal on your part, how you design it and put a decal on your part. We'll stop here for now.